We know it's a pitch that gets better and better, but 57 before, he must have been a bit nervous.
Well, it was just getting a bit harder for us. I mean, I agree with what you said there, really. We always had quite a lot of faith that the wicket was going to stay very flat and pretty slow. So it was always a case of just negotiating a new ball, and then things should have been more simple. But whenever you're chasing a score in Test cricket, there's always a bit of pressure on your shoulders to do that, and that's why I thought it was an outstanding performance from Cook and Bell to get us up to the line. I think they played in a really professional and classy manner, and thankfully in the end it wasn't too difficult.
Andrew, I wondered in the context of what happened over the winter when there were some real low moments chasing totals, how important to get over the line here was to the team in terms of confidence, I suppose.
Oh, well, certainly it wouldn't have been a good thing to fall short in this particular circumstance. We knew there were no demons in the pitch. But actually, in some ways, chasing 190 odds a bit easier than chasing 100 because you just go out there and bat. And, over the course of 2 or 3 hours, you have enough time to get on top and get comfortable and then to get over the line. Sometimes when those shorter chases on less even surfaces, there are a few more kind of mental hurdles to overcome in terms of how you go about it, whereas this one was just a case of playing the way you'd normally play, and thankfully the guys were able to do that.
Is there a sense of an irrelevance in saying or asking whether lessons were learned from what happened in the UAE, seeing as it's such a different kind of set of circumstances? Yeah,
I think probably in Colombo we showed that lessons were learned from the UAE. I think that was a more similar type scenario. But any time you chase down a score in Test cricket, you've got to be happy because, as I said, there's a fair amount of pressure you have to overcome. And as we were saying before, from 50 odd for 4, there's even more pressure. So, I think we're very happy to have registered a victory here. We had to work very hard for it. The bowlers again did an outstanding job in very unhelpful conditions yesterday. And it certainly wasn't a formality by any means to come here and wrap up this victory. In the second half of the Test match we had to work very hard.
Andrew, you mentioned Ian Bell there. How important was it for him to play such decisive innings after a pretty difficult winter?
Well, it wasn't that important because he's shown for a long time what a quality player is. He averaged 100 for the last 12 months before the winter. So I don't think he had to justify his place in the side. He didn't have to prove to anyone in our side that he was a good player, but it was great to see him show that again. It's always good to have as many of the team as possible in good form, and I thought he showed his class right from ball one in the first innings.
Stuart, can you say what it means to you to get on all 3 honest balls, and also do you actually think you can bowl a little bit better up at Trent Bridge? If you get more to come.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement. Certainly the first innings, I don't think I bowled as well as I could do. It's just it happens in attacks when you're trying to create pressure from both ends. It doesn't really matter who gets the wickets. It's all about just doing that job. But certainly the stride pattern and the rhythm I felt really nice. Second innings probably improved a little bit on the first innings in slightly less helpful conditions. Of course it's an honour to get on all 3 boards. I mean, the Tenford board, as you say, since '78 has been empty, so it's nice to fill a bit of a gap there. But I say the most important thing was getting that victory, and there was a few nerves this morning when we were 30 for 3, but the calm nature that Cookie and Belly managed to approach that innings was great, and we did have the best number 11 in the world, as Swanee kept telling us, so we weren't in too much danger.
That 100 you scored in Pakistan in 2010 was obviously overshadowed by what happened then. If you had lost this game, your own achievements have been sort of potentially lost as well?
Very much so, yeah. I mean, it's I think any cricketer will say the same. If you score 100 or if you take 5 and you lose, it's pretty irrelevant really. It means nothing. It's all about putting in performances and helping the team win, whether it's a 5, whether it's a 2 for, you take anything to get that victory. And we're delighted to have gone 1-0 up and going to Trent Bridge, which is a ground we play pretty good cricket at, so it's important that we reset our minds and focus on the different challenges that lie ahead there. Bye.